Hello, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art, and today is day 58 of 365 days of junk journal ideas. And today we're going to be talking about library cards and library card pockets. Now, I'm going to be decorating these. These are pre-made ephemera pieces. I often include them in the junk journal kits. And so if you don't already have these pre-made pieces, let me show you how to make these quick. I have made these several times on the channel, just out of scratch pieces of paper. But if you don't have the pre-made pockets, all you're going to do is cut yourself a strip, a long strip of paper, cardstock, whatever you want to use, and then fold up the bottom. That's basically all that is it's just folded up the bottom and then they corner around the top of it. So if you want to make the pockets yourself, you can do that. And then you can make them out of whatever, pattern cardstock or paper you want. Save yourself the trouble of having to cover these up. And then if you don't have the pre-made library cards, you can just use an index card or a piece of cardstock, whatever you want to use there. So if you don't have them, don't stress. We're going to go ahead and decorate these ones. I do think that they look better coffee dyed, so I didn't copy dye these ones. I'm just using them the way that they come. But if you want to take the time to copy dye, I think they look better that way. I'm going to ink them and kind of make them look coffee dyed. But before we do all that, let's go ahead and talk about decorating. So I'm going to focus on doing one of the cards first. And the first thing I want to do is I've just got a bunch of scraps over here. I've got some little scraps. I've got some things that we could do some embellishing with. Let's go ahead and get together a game plan. So I've got some really antique handwritten document here. And then let's go ahead and pair that with, I've got some decorating like top pieces too. Let's go ahead and pair that with some book page. So we've got book page here. This is a French dictionary on rag paper, and this is a handwritten document. So let's pair those two together and cover up this card. Now, I'm going to cover up basically the whole entire card. You don't have to do that. You can leave some showing, but I'm going to leave the back showing on this one. I think that's fine. I could leave it, I could flip it around and cover up this side. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to cover up this one. And we're going to start up here at the top, and I'm just going to tear this paper, get myself a nice little strip of that going, and then I'm going to glue that on. And so we're going to get right to decorating this time because we're starting with pre-made ephemera. Now, these are going to go in upcoming journals. So I'm just, this is a good project where you could sit down and you could mass make a bunch of these in a relatively short amount of time. I got that all sorts of crooked there. I tried to save it. There we go. So there's that one. And then let's go ahead and add a little bit of, this. This I like to use a little sparingly. So let's use a little bit of that down there. That looks pretty good. The one thing I was thinking of is this little piece of embossed cardstock. It looks like it has a little bit of ink on it already. I'm going to go ahead and ink that up, and I think maybe I'm going to use a corner of it. So if you emboss cardstock, just regular old cardstock, you can quickly, rub some ink over it, and then you get a much better looking, where you can see the embossing. And I was thinking about just adding some of this. So let's just go with that. I'm just going to tear it, a little corner of it, and we're going to go like that right there. I like that a lot. So let's do that. We'll ink at the end, but because this is embossed cardstock, the glue stick, it will hold it, but it's so thick already with the embossing. I'm going to go ahead and stick it down with art glitter. Plus it kind of speeds up the process here. So I'm going to art glitter around the edges and then just a little bit through the center. There we go. And let's get that on. And then I'm going to trim off all my overhang edges at the very end. So there's that. And then the bottom part, we might do that handwriting, or I might just see how I like it without it. Because if I do the handwriting, we'll cover up the entire thing. So let's go ahead and cut this out now, and we'll see how it looks. And then we need to put some kind of focal point on there. I mean, you don't have to. The focal point can go on the envelope as well. It doesn't have to go on just the journal card. Now, I will obviously ink all the way around the back and all that kind of stuff, but just not on camera because I don't want to take up our time together inking. So there's that. Now, if I did ink just this little bit down here, let me see if it helps me like this a little more. Right now it's very, very white and I want to ink it up a little bit. Kind of mimic some coffee dye. And if you ever want to ink up the edge of a paper, you can go ahead and do it after it's already glued down, and it kind of roughs up the other edges and it kind of makes them look better, I think. So obviously I'll ink a whole, you know, around the whole thing. Anyway, I think that's great. It does need a little something, but I don't know that it needs all of that. Let's go ahead and work on a pocket for a minute for this one to go in. I want to keep moving and move quickly. I do like this piece of, it's just a piece of paper. I'm going to glue this. I'm going to glue this to the top part. Okay, so to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and just glue the top part of this. And this is a little controversial way of doing it because you do get glue right where you have the pocket opening, but don't worry about that. I'm not worried about it. I've done it this way many times and it's just fine. So go ahead and glue up the whole back of it. Then you're going to take your paper, you're going to lay your paper on it where you want it to go, right at the top of that pocket, so that you have no remaining glue there, and then smooth it down. And then we'll cut that out quick. And so from here, you've just got a little notch that you have to trim over, because these library card pockets that are pre-made, they actually have a little bit wider of a bottom than they do the top. So there's a little edge there. Okay, so we've got the back covered. Now let's find something to cover the bottom. There's how it looks now. We need to corner around again, but we'll do that here in a second. Or maybe I can, just so that we can see how it looks, I'll just do it free-handed. There we go. So there's that. And then we've got our little card that's going to go in there. And then from there, I do have this, and you know, maybe that's really all I need down there. Maybe I just want a little ledger and a little of that. That looks really nice. I like it. Let's do it. So for this, I'm just going to ink the whole pocket again, and I'm going to layer my stuff on. And you're like, well, wait a minute. You have a little bit of paper covering that little opening for the pocket. Don't worry. So right here, this little bit of paper that's covering it, you just pop your pocket open and then you get your paper squished down in there. So it actually does go a little bit lower than the pocket opening. So that's all good now. I'm going to put this ledger right here, right at the top, and then I'm going to just smooth it up there from the wet glue and cut off the sides. And I did kind of center that because I do want to see the ledger part here in the center. Okay, so from there, I'm going to glue on some of this handwriting. Let's use this side. And I'm just going to glue stick it up there. There we go. So we're just going to stick that on just like that. And then I'll have some little scraps, and that's okay. We're good there. So we do need a focal point because right now nothing has a focal point. And so I do have some little black and white images that we could cut out and use. But basically what I'm doing is just collaging right on the pocket itself. You wouldn't have to cover up quite as much of the pocket if you had used printed paper and then just made your own little pocket. And so from right here, we're still completely unstuck and open. And all I'm going to do is just, you know, put some little ink in there because I want it, you know, to show that it's a pocket. I'll ink around the rest of that later. Here's our card. Let's get a focal point. So for focal points, I could do blue, but you know, I'm keeping this one all neutral so far, so we might as well keep going with the neutral. I do have these. Let's use one of these. We've got some little black and white floral images, and these are Raindrop Lila. Raindrop Lila is on Etsy, and so she's got a digital download shop on Etsy where you go and you purchase digitals. So anyway, there's that. These are just basically like antique book plates. I don't know if they're real or if they're created like with AI or whatever, but they're cute and they fit with this neutral color palette. So I'm going to go ahead and ink around this before I glue this one down. I don't have much ink left on here, but we're just going to go with it. And so this is just printed on regular paper. I like that. Let's put that on there. That'll be good. Now I do want a little more ink. So I was really hoping to get a couple of these done, but you know, I just can't get it done. I'm going to make a couple more, but I have some other fun little ladies over here and whatnot. So I'm going to make another one, but stay tuned. We might get one more in. I don't know. We'll get something in, either a pocket or a card. And then I just need to glue stick the back of this. However, I'm going to glue stick and I'm going to add some art glitter because, again, we're going over that embossed paper and it's not my favorite to just use glue stick on. I'll be honest and I'll say that a glue stick and art glitter combination is really unbeatable. So there's that. And it goes right on here. So we basically created a beautiful little, if you add the purpose really of the glue stick is to allow myself a little wiggle room after I stick this on there. So I've got glue all over it now. We're good. This can go in here once it is dry and inked around. So it's just going to go in there. Now you could add a little label or a little focal point here. I don't have anything that I know of that will go on there, but you know, any kind of little focal point can work on there. I mean, even just another little piece of handwriting or something could go on there, and that would be fine. A little label would be great, but let's leave this one for now. Obviously, you would ink around them and you'd finish off the back, but that's a good little combination for right now. Let's see what else we can do in the next 4 minutes. Not a whole lot, but I do have a card. I do have a card somewhere right here that I have already started. So that gives us a little jump start on this guy. And then from here, let's go ahead and put on a lady. I don't know if I can even get one fussy cat before our time is up, but I will try. I mean, this green lady is stunning right there. I could use the little pink one. Let's give it a try. So I'm going to cut around the green one and I'm going to get this pink one out. And then we will come back and fussy cut her the rest of the way. But right now I can get her mostly out of there. And we'll fussy cut her quickly. And so I just need to go in here where her arm is and around her arm. This is the fast version of fussy cutting. Except for you got to be careful with her head and all of her little bows in her hair and her curls and all of that kind of stuff. And so honestly, that's pretty good. So there we have her. She can go on there. I'm going to cut a little of her dress off. It's too sideways for me. So now she has a different shaped dress. Feel free to edit your Victorian people's clothing. Okay, so there's that. Now we need a little something else on here. I don't know if I need to put a little music. I don't know. We'll have to find another scrap. Quickly. Here is some music. That's not what I want. Here is some more music. Again, not what I want. What about this handwriting? Let's use this handwriting. So I've got a little tiny scrap of handwriting and I've just made it into a little label and I'm going to stick that down with her there. That's great. That's perfect. That's really all that one needs. It should use a little ink around it, but don't have a lot of ink left on there. Okay. We're getting our label down first, or we're trying to. And then there's our little bit of handwriting. There's a watermark on this paper that you can see right in the front of that text. I love it when you can see the watermarks on the old handwriting. Love it. Okay, so there's her. Oops, she's a little high now. But she's going to go right there. I put my handwriting a little bit too high in my hurriedness. So there's the card. Now we do have enough time. Let's do it. We have enough time to do the pocket. If I hurry, we can do the pocket for her. She could use a little something else. And you know, honestly, I have some tiny little flowers over here. And if I don't spend forever finding one, not that one, but there are some little flowers over here that I could pop on her. So maybe I'll do a little more embellishing and put a little flower or another little label or something there. But anyway, the card's good. We're good with that. Let's work on this. For this one, I have 0 colored pattern paper over here. I have nothing other than this blue. So I think we're going to do, let's do some embossed. Yep, let's do that. So let's finish coloring this in. I love the way it looks whenever you emboss and ink. Such a good combination. So let's put down some music or something right here. That works. Let's do it. I'm going to straighten up the top, but then we're gluing it straight away. Speed decorating mode with whatever's on my desk. That's what we have. Okay. So there's that one. And I'm going to slide that right up where I want it. There we go. Just making sure it's covering the edge of my envelope or my little pocket. And then from here, I can stick this right here. Yeah, that'll be perfect. So again, for the art glitter glue, and I'm just going to glue this right about where I think it's going to go. And then we'll cut it off. And I've got glue there. Perfection. Okay, so there's the bottom part of the pocket. And then I'll just snip this off quick. I'll have to come back and do a little bit more snipping, but let's snip it off so we can see what it looks like. Put that glue before I get something in it. And there's that. So obviously still needs inked around. And then from there, we've got the back part of the pocket. And I think the best thing to do for this one, we might have to use this. I don't have much else over here. I just really have that neutral colored paper. That's it. So it's neutral colored paper, which I guess is fine. Let's do it. It's here. That's what I have. Now this little bit here needs trimmed off. Here we go. So that I can glue up the back part. And so again, I've got glue right where my pocket opening is, but don't worry about it. Once we put our paper down, it will be just fine. And so I'm going to see if this is enough, and it is. Perfect. So there's that. And let's trim around that and see if we can get these done relatively quickly. So if you have longer than 20 minutes, you can sit down and make a pile of these up, and then you'll have them in your made ephemera box ready to use. They can go in any journal. You don't have to use them where like they're glued down on a page like a library card pocket. You could use them any old way. It doesn't matter. Now I see this sitting here, and I would really like to stick this on here. So I'm going to do it. It's been sitting here waiting for someone to, claim it as theirs, a pocket or a tag or whatever. It's been sitting here waiting to be used. So I'm going to stick that on there. And now our Victorian lady looks a lot better, I think, because she's going in this beautiful pocket. She needs a little flower too, and I keep trying to find one, but I have a million sitting here. That's really pretty too. So you could stick that up there. Let's do that. I'm not going to dig anymore. We're just going to, the first thing we come to, that's going to be good enough. We will glue it down though. All right. So now she has a little bit of flowers up here in the top corner. I can stick those back away. And then this is what we ended up with this lady. We ended up with a beautiful library card pocket that was pre-made, and it now looks like this for that combination. So it will go, she'll go in here just like that. Gorgeous. And then this guy here, he's all in neutrals. He needs a little focal point. I'm not really sure yet what we have to play with him with, but even just some kind of little number, like these little ones I've been using, it would be fine down here. You could find one that would work. I don't see one off the top of my head, but that's what we made, guys. They're super fun, super cute, and very quick to make. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys again tomorrow morning. Bye, guys.